and welcome to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Our focus this morning will be on the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Department, and our special guest is Milwaukee County Sheriff Earnell Lucas. He serves as the 65th Sheriff of Milwaukee County during what many would describe as an extremely difficult and sensitive time in our country. That is why this conversation is so important. Happy to have you here, Sheriff Lucas. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for your time today. And of course, you've appeared on Our Issues on several occasions, but I wanted to have you here today to discuss your commitment or your recommitment to restoring honor, integrity, and trust with law enforcement in Milwaukee County as we battle, I like to say, two pandemics, one coronavirus and the other systemic racism. So first off, let's talk about some of the challenges that your department has faced while trying to protect and serve during the coronavirus.
Well, good morning to you and to your listeners, Andrea, and thank you for having me again. I ran on a platform of restoring honor, integrity, and trust back to the sheriff's office that for years had not been delivering the level of service that the people here in Milwaukee County truly deserved. And on the wings of so many people, good people in this community that supported me in my campaign, we were elected by an overwhelming majority in November of 2018 and took office in 2019 with the goal of doing exactly what we set out to do. And 2019 was a turnaround year for us. We did a number of wonderful things, positive things for our community. But if anybody could have forecasted, Andrea, where we are today with being in the throes of 7 months of a pandemic, as well as 4 months of protests after the horrific death of Mr. George Floyd, if one would have told me we would be where we are today, I would say there's just no way. Our goal is still the same, and but our challenges are made that much more difficult by all the things that are going on in our society. So my commitment is still strong. My faith is still in the people of this community, and we can get things done. And again, I set out every day to go about doing just that.
Yes, and you've strongly supported countywide decarceration to significantly decrease the population in Milwaukee County Jail. So if you would talk a little bit more about that and what steps you've actually been able to take to ensure a safe environment for those who are not only working in the jail, but those who are housed there.
Well, that was one of the things that we had to do. We not only were not taking care of the people entrusted to our care, we were not even taking care of the people who were the caretakers, meaning that correctional officers had not received an increase in over 10 years here in the Milwaukee County Jail. Mm-hmm. And I thought it's so important that we treat them with the dignity that they deserve, because every day we ask them to be at their best, Andrea, when the people, and many of the people that they deal with are sometimes at their very worst, are not even concerned about their own well-being. So we place a lot of trust in them. But more importantly, we felt we had to run a more humane and dignified jail as well. For an 18-month period there, 7 people died in the custody of the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office. And so that had to change. And it started from, again, instilling a culture of we will respect human life. We treat everybody with dignity and respect. And no matter what crime an individual is in custody for, he or she is going to be treated humanely. And our goal is to ensure that they go before a magistrate and then let a magistrate determine whatever fate there is. Since the COVID, we've had to do some things to ensure that we're not perpetuating the community spread. So we've been able to reduce the jail population to some extent at a daily average of about 630 or so individuals, and so that, and put them in single cells so that, again, that we're are treating everyone humanely. And then even the healthcare provider that Milwaukee County had for years that was not performing well. Milwaukee County went out and sought a new medical provider. We're now providing good quality care for those people that are entrusted to our care. So again, it was a total sea change in how we do business in the Milwaukee County Jail. And we should be very pleased. The residents of Milwaukee County should be very pleased at where we are today.
And it's important to mention that when you took office back in January of 2019, you were basically taking over a department that was led by the controversial Sheriff David Clark Jr. for, I think it was 15 years. So we talked about then that you had to go in and kind of restore morale and ultimately change the climate that had been created over almost 2 decades. So within the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Department, how have you been able to kind of change that morale and what that department was feeling like when you did take over?
Well, it started with very small things, I think. One, when I tell my story of someone who was born here in the Hillside Housing Project, who was raised by a single mother up until her passing, and then to have a single grandmother come in and teach me the golden rule of treating everyone the way you want to be treated. My public school experience here, graduating from Rufus King, and then going on to serve in the police department for 25 years before going on to a career at Major League Baseball. And if you can set a goal or a height for someone to look to or to reach and say, well, if you apply yourself, if you work hard, then all those things that were added on to me can come to you. It raises the bar of everybody that say, hey, look, if Sheriff Lucas was able to accomplish those things, no telling what I can do in this world. And so it comes with just, again, sharing your story, and then going out again and asking everyone in this organization to be respectful of one another, treat everybody with dignity and respect, live by the golden rule, a hard day's work for a hard day's pay. And then going out and again, as we go out in our respective jobs, whether it's at the airport, in our parks, in our freeway systems, again, people have placed an awesome trust in members of this sheriff's office to deliver a high level of service. And if we can commit ourselves to do that, not complain about the noise and rhetoric of we're not properly staffed or we're underpaid, or again, we don't get the appreciation in the public that we feel. If we can just focus in on performing the job of being Milwaukee County Sheriff's deputies, then I think we're moving in the right direction. And I feel that we're on the right path.
All right. And I'm glad you brought up growing up in the Hillside Housing Project as a young boy here in Milwaukee, because I remember you sharing a story with me about being a young boy going to the grocery store for your grandmother and being pulled over, so to speak, by a police officer back then at a very young age. And you said that that really is what fueled you to want to be a person in law enforcement, to make sure that, you know, everyone was treated the same and that you could instill what you thought was right in being a member of law enforcement, even coming in contact with that cop years later when you took on a job as a member of law enforcement. So what I really am interested in knowing is, with the climate that we're living in today, the death of George Floyd and so many other situations, which we will get to, you know what it's like to be a man of color, to be walking down the street, minding your business, you haven't done anything wrong, and being treated as if you did something wrong. How do you take that experience and knowing how that feels and really getting other people who work under you or with you to understand that and to kind of try to change that approach?
Well, and I thank you for recalling that story very well, Andrea. That was inspiration for me. Again, I was a 12 or 13-year-old boy walking to a store for his grandmother when I get stopped by a police officer who accused me of stealing a woman's purse. I said, no, sir, I didn't. He said, well, I'm going to take you over and have the woman identify you. I said, well, sir, you can do that. But if she doesn't identify me, I said, would you run me back over to the store and help me get these groceries home? And in that moment, he sped away. But it was also in that moment that I knew what I wanted to do, Andrea, because when you think about the encounters that young Black and brown men and women have today versus the encounter that I had, what's different in the world? And a lot of it has to deal with trust. Look, there was trust in law enforcement when I was a young man, and law enforcement trusted the community that it served. That is so lacking in so many of our communities all across America today. And so it's so incumbent upon us to work to develop that trust, to build those relationships, to do the hard work so that when we have those unfortunate circumstances and instances occur, that it just doesn't tear apart the whole fabric that everyone in this community have been working to put together. And so for me, again, it still drives me every day to go out and inspire some young boy or some young girl in this community whose situation and circumstances were as challenging, if not even more challenging than mine were. And to say that if I was able to do and accomplish the things that I've been able to do, then certainly if you set your mind at it and go out there and try to achieve it, you can do whatever it is that you want to do. And again, with what time I got left on this earth, Andrea, that's my goal and that's my intent.
Yeah, and I realize there are no easy answers to what we're all facing today, but how do you restore trust in law enforcement when you have individuals who are afraid that anytime they're approached by someone in law enforcement that they may not walk away or they may be rolled away, and it's not even a situation that anyone would think would even cause a result of that matter? How do you restore the trust?
It's a constant a goal that you have to, it has to come from within, Andrea. This is my community. I was born and raised here, as we know. Again, it gave me all of the opportunities that I've had. And so for me to leave the wonderful opportunity that I was having at Major League Baseball to come back, it's been the joy of a lifetime for this young boy from the Hillside Housing Project. We've got to work at it every day. I try to make the very best decisions that I possibly can with the information available to me in the situation at hand. And Andrea, I go home at night and reflect upon the day that I've just had. And if there's some intervening information or something changes, and if the Lord gives me an opportunity to wake up tomorrow and go back at it again, then I'll go out there and make that necessary change, because that's the kind of leadership that you need. One that works off of information, that is willing to change, and certainly that is grounded and committed in making this community a better place.
Yeah, and of course, it goes without saying there are a lot of good officers and deputies who are working hard every day to protect and serve and putting their lives on the line for that matter. But it's hard for some who now have a thought process that they can't tell the good from the bad. So I'm not sure how do you go about weeding out those particular deputies who may have a record or, showing a consistent pattern of how they do business. How do you go about weeding those officers out?
Well, we had to set standards and best practices in place when we came in. There were a lot of things that were gray in this organization when we came to it, but bringing in a chief deputy, Danita Ball, and a chief legal and compliance officer in Molly Zillick, we said we were going to do two things. One, we were going to do the right things, and two, we were going to do them the right way. And through our training and through our supervision, we were going to do our very best to put the best men and women out there in Milwaukee County. But if there were going to be breaches in terms of delivering that high level of service, one, we would have to have a disciplinary process that would be swift, and two, it would have to be very public so that the public has confidence in their leaders of the sheriff's office that they are addressing and dealing with those people that are not adhering to the high standards in this organization. So it's a constant, but it deals with our ability to train and our ability to supervise our people, which are the leading causes for why law enforcement agencies wind up in courtrooms and or with large judgments and payments of taxpayer dollars, is our inability to train our people and our inability to supervise our people. And that's two areas that we're committed and focused on.
All right. I really appreciate your transparency. And I'm hoping that you can stick around for another segment where we can talk more about what you've been implementing in order to restore that confidence and that trust between the community and law enforcement. So we'll take a quick break and come back to continue our conversation with Milwaukee County Sheriff Earnell Lucas right after this.